Monday, January 27th, 2025, and the Trump mass deportations have begun. And that's what we're talking about this morning on The View. I seem to be catching a little bit of a cold, so I apologize. But it's this whole thing is so much theater, and it's kind of ridiculous. Sarah Haynes is correct that um, Obama deported more people seeking to enter the country than any recent president. And it's a thing that happens on a regular basis. We are constantly sending people back to their countries of origin um, by the hundreds of thousands a year. Like it's not, and there's a whole process for it. Um, that they get sent on chartered flights, and there's there. This is something that's part of our immigration um, existing policy that happens on a regular basis. Sonny Hostin, my favorite panelist on The View these days, is 100% correct that this effort that Trump is going through is very performative and clearly very racist. He's trying to make scapegoats out of people that we on a regular basis remove from our country anyway. So, and trying to show a big show of force. And what they didn't talk about today on The View is that that actual process exists and has, and it works just fine. And the people get put on chartered flights and off they go. And Trump wanted to do this big show of muscle, um, and so he's using military, which is a waste of military resources and a waste of money, to round up. And he did this with a bunch of Colombian refugees and immigrants who normally would just get on a plane and they would fly, and Colombia would take them, and it would okay, whoosy whatsy, everything's fine. But because he made a big deal out of it, shackling them and like walking them in a perp walk into these giant military airplanes, kind of like cattle, the president of Colombia was like, "No, you're not flying that plane into our airspace. We're not taking the prisoners that way. Put them back on a regular plane, like you usually do." And Trump said no, and we're gonna slap a 25% tariff on all your goods. So the Colombian president said, "Fine, we're gonna slap a 50% tariff on everything you buy from Colombia." So Trump said, "Okay, never mind. We'll put them on a regular plane." So he created a problem that didn't need to be uh, that wasn't necessary. Um, you know, kind of deteriorated a relationship with an ally, and for nothing. He didn't get anything out of it. He didn't get what he wanted, and he got no benefit from it, except that he seems to think that he gets to show off that he's being a big shot. But Sonny's right. This is all just um, for the show of it all. It's not going to change the price of eggs. As a matter of fact, because of the bird flu, the price of eggs is skyrocketing. But the bird flu is one of the things that the health organizations are not going to be able to talk about because he ordered them not to. They're not allowed to issue communications about diseases anymore. So in that case, he's shooting himself in the foot because he's not going to have the excuse of the bird flu pushing up the egg prices unless he tells everybody that. Um, but we all know it was never about the egg prices anyway. So more clown show bullshit. Um, and then I don't usually talk about their guests, but they had John Fetterman on, and you know he's kind of feeling like a weasel. He said, "I wouldn't make a very good Republican. I'm not switching parties. I support a woman's right to choose. I support the LGBTQ community. Blah blah blah." But um, I'm going to say this for as long as we need to say it. We don't need to work and play nice with fascists. He's running roughshod over the Constitution. You don't need to shake his hand and find a middle ground. Um, you need to keep resisting. Um, so he's not doing that. And he seems to think that this is somehow an asset to him. But I think that, if we have elections again, the people of Pennsylvania will primary him. And that's a vulnerable seat. But I don't think he's up for a while. So, uh, because I think he just won 6 years in 2024. So who knows where we'll be in 2030. Uh, but I take exception to this whole idea that he is somehow um, doing a service to his community by um, capitulating to Trump. There was no need for him to go down to Mar-a-Lago. Yes, he got invited. That doesn't mean you have to go. You can meet him in Washington after he's sworn in. You didn't need to do a preemptory um, kissing of the ring, and that's people don't like it. And I'm glad Anna Navarro told that to his face. I also think that I get it. I'm fairly casual. I don't think we need to wear a suit and tie every day, everywhere. But you're an adult human being. You don't need to be in a goddamn hooded sweatshirt at the inauguration of the President of the United States, even if the President of the United States is a fucking felon. Like, you shouldn't be going to that to begin with. It's a delightful sign of disrespect that you're wearing a hoodie, except you're not using it as a sign of disrespect. You just don't wear anything else. And I think that you're an adult. It doesn't have to be a three-piece suit, but you can do better than a baggy cotton hooded sweatshirt. You're a fucking senator. Like, grow up. Um, and I'm cranky. Excuse me. Um, so that's Monday.